you'll take seats, please. I'm going to call the meeting to order. If you'll take your seats, please. Well, we have some people standing, so I'd like to get some chairs out for you all before the meeting begins, if that's all right. Let me see, Bill, this closet up here has got some, and that one does. While they're putting chairs out for you all, I can give you some of the ground rules of what's going on here. My name is Kathy Benz, and I'm the president of Cona. And tonight we're holding a joint commission for the runoff election for the city commission in collaboration with CCNA, which is the City Coalition of Neighborhood Associations. They're parallel to us in the city level as to what we do on the county level. We fulfill different functions, but we do the same thing. And I noticed that we've got a certain number of people here I'd like to recognize. I'd start with Nora Patterson, former county commissioner. Molly Cardamone, a former city commissioner and mayor. Elmer Burkle, a former city commissioner and mayor, right here. And also Ron Turner, who's running for supervisor of elections, is here. Is there anyone else here that I'm overlooking? This is your chance. Terry Turner is here. He's a former city commissioner. And he's also a former planning commissioner for the county. Anyone else?
Former candidate Diana Hamilton. Former.
Okay. Our next meeting will be on May 11th, and it'll be Commissioner Charles Hines who will speak about the legislative session that's going on at the moment, and joining him in a discussion after he gives us some information will be Keith Fitzgerald. Now, are there any neighborhood associations here that have any announcement they'd like to have made? Okay, then we can get going. I'm going to go ahead and place the mic. Could you pass this, please? Under the Sunshine Laws, Commissioners Normal and Zimmerman are allowed to be on this forum together, but they are not allowed to respond to the answers of the other, nor to question each other. This forum is a historic collaboration with CCNA. The first portion will be CCNA questions. The second will be Cona questions. And the third portion will be questions submitted in writing by our members and by guests that are not duplications as time permits. Now, we have quite a stack of questions, and it all depends upon how quickly the questions go and are answered as to how many we'll get to. What we're attempting to do is to group the questions that are handed in into topics that are the same. And we're going to try and pick the best question on a specific topic so we don't have a lot of repetition. Okay. The distribution of index cards and collection of written questions and timing will be provided by, well, the collection will be by Bill Zoller over here. So if anyone wants to write a question on a card they already have that's blank, Fill it out and raise your hand, and somebody will come and take it from you. If you want to write a question and you don't have an index card, raise your hand and somebody will bring you an index card, and then they'll come back again for that. Ron Saba, who's over at the sign-in table, is our timer for the very beginning of the forum, when the candidates are given 2 minutes to talk. And the people who are helping us tonight from CCNA, of course, Kathy, the president, is going to be here. But there's Millie Small, who's over at the sign-in table. Oh no, there she's right here, okay. And then Joyce Burnham and Joyce Robbie.
Right here.
Okay. Cona's entire format or forum from the primary with these same candidates in the same race is available at our meeting page of our website, and that's Cona.sarasota.org. So this is a continuation. We're not going to ask any of the questions that were asked at the first forum because it's available to you on video. And this way we think we can cover more subjects and get to know the candidates a little bit better. But we'd like you to review that before you vote. And at this point, I would like to introduce, well, first of all, the format will be, the candidates will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves in the beginning, and then the moderator will begin to ask questions. And we're going to be going back and forth since we only have one microphone, and we'll just weave back and forth like we did at the last forum, if you recall. So I'd like to introduce Kathy Kelly Ulrich, who's the chair of Sarasota, the Sarasota Coalition of City Neighborhoods Association. And once you've finished your introduction, she'll begin her questions. If you want to go ahead, Liz.
Thank you very much, and thank all of you for being here. As she said, I'm Liz Albert, and I'm running for City Commission because I'm very passionate about this city that I fell in love with when I moved here 40 years ago. I'm not new to community service. I have been on the city's Human Relations Board since its inception in 2003, and we worked on outreach to the community to make them aware of the anti-discrimination ordinance. I served on my condo association board, where as president, we managed to pass for the first time in 40 years a special assessment so that we could renovate the entire first floor of our condo that had not been touched in 40 years. I also am currently serving on the city's General Personnel Civil Service Board. And when I lived in Tampa for a while, I lived in Sarasota, then St. Pete, then Tampa, and came back to Sarasota in 2002. I was on their city's Architectural Review Commission, and during my tenure there, I went to a lot of historic preservation conventions and learned a lot about and became very passionate about historic preservation and smart growth principles. While I was doing all of this, I was also going to law school, studying for the bar, and establishing my family law practice. I started law school actually in 2003. And I'm a practicing family law attorney, and as a family law attorney, I learned to listen to my clients because they're the ones who have all the facts and information on their particular issue and the outcomes they want to see. So similarly, as your city commissioner, I will listen to you. It's up to you. You know what your facts are, what the information is on the particular issue that you care about and the outcomes you'd like to see. Also, as a family law attorney, I work constantly with conflicting interests and work really hard to resolve those issues. I've gotten the endorsement of all the groups that have endorsed in the city commission race, this retired firefighters, retired policemen, Roof's List, and the Realtors Association. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Shelley.
Good evening, good evening. My name is Shelley Eddy and I am a candidate for Sarasota City Commission for District 3. I come to you because I am a daughter, I am a sister, I'm a goddaughter, and I'm a neighbor in our community. I've lived here for over 12 years and I've worked hard to make sure that we have what we need to move our neighborhoods forward. Every street is a part of a neighborhood and all neighborhoods are important and neighborhoods make great cities. What I've done is to work with individuals that need assistance in terms of, through my practice as a business owner, in the community as a member, working as mentors in the community, and working with individuals to assist with needs such as housing, such as infrastructure, and such as just navigating the system for City Commission. In the past, I've served with the Human Relations Board to ensure fairness and anti-discrimination in housing. I've also worked with the City Advisory Board to instill economic development, to chart better roads, to work with urban design and the form-based code to move our community forward. I've served as chair and vice chair for those boards. And what I've found in working with community is that we all have the same goals, working together as a partnership to move our community forward. With regard to economic development and budgeting, I am a business owner. I have to make tough decisions. I have to balance a budget. I have to be fiscally responsible, and I'll bring those things to the City Commission. I also am concerned about our transportation system and how we can work together for connectivity to make sure that we are more walkable, more livable, and that we address our transportation issues. And so those are the reasons that I have allowed individuals and communities for us to work together to create a more livable Sarasota. As your next City Commissioner, I hope to bring those skills, that expertise to the Commission, to be a team player, to work with all of our partnerships and collaborate to move our city forward. I don't have all the answers, but I will work hard to get them. I will always be accessible. I will answer the phone. I will meet with you, and that doesn't just stop on May the 12th. So I look forward to partnering with you and moving the city forward for Sarasota's District 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this point in the campaign, I think you know quite a bit about all of us. But I'll give you a short synopsis. I grew up in the Bronx. I went to law school while I raised my 2 children. I became a criminal prosecutor specializing in domestic violence. From the time I moved to Sarasota permanently, I was immersed in civic affairs. With my homeowners association, I helped rewrite their legal documents. Simultaneously, on the police advisory panel, I did a report that I investigated and wrote on domestic violence. I investigated and wrote about the Come As You Are shelter. I headed up a civic campaign regarding the elected mayor. I investigated a report on SPD's loss of accreditation. I've spoken at forums for the Downtown Sarasota Condo Association as one of the members of their board on the homeless situation downtown. I've written several lengthy guest editorials, and I brought some here with me in case you'd like to see them, in the Herald Tribune and in the Observer, and online and in print. I attended City Commission meetings before I even thought about being on the City Commission, and I spoke out at those commission meetings as well as at joint city and county commission meetings on various different civic affairs. I was chosen out of a field of 10 to be appointed to the City Commission, and that field of 10 included my opponent, Liz. But I have to ask you, where has Liz been? She has yet to appear at a City Commission meeting. I have never seen or heard of her in city civic matters. I know she belongs to the Civil Service Board, but they haven't met since 2013. I have Googled her. You can too, and I encourage you to Google me as well. What actually comes up when you search for Liz is the fact that she has spent a lot of time running for office here and in Tampa, 4 times, and this is the 5th. So I would ask you, who has a civic footprint in Sarasota? Who has done something for the city of Sarasota? Who is Liz, and where has she been? Thank you.
If you boo, I'm going to shut this down. I'm very serious about this. I'm not going to tolerate uncivil behavior here. I will ask you to leave if you do this.
I was hoping that perhaps we could all go home. My name is Stan Zimmerman. I am a 17-year resident of the 3rd District of the City of Sarasota, and I'm asking for your vote as a City Commissioner to represent the 3rd District. I think it's really important to look at what people have done. If you're going to buy a product, you'd like to take it for a test drive. Because unlike many products, you can't buy this product and take it back. You're going to be stuck with it for 4 years. So, taking a look at Stan Zimmerman's activities in the community, I helped to resuscitate the Alta Vista Neighborhood Association, which had gone dormant. And it was about that same time that the mobile homes were moved out of Payne Park, leaving nothing but busted up asphalt and a forest of phone poles, light poles. Working with the city, we found a source of funding. We've got together a plan, and today you can see Payne Park for what it is, one of the jewels of this community, a great asset for the 3rd District as well as the community at large. I then went on to become elected to the Coalition of City Neighborhood Associations as its president, and it was at that time that the city police requested to build a new police headquarters in town. That required a general obligation bond issued, which had to go out for referendum to the community. The PD came to the CCNA and said, can you help us sell this bond? We looked at it, we decided to weigh in on it, and the bond was approved overwhelmingly. Now we have a new police department, state-of-the-art, that overlooks Payne Park in the 3rd District. I and the neighborhoods have done a lot for you as citizens at large, and I'd like to continue doing things for you. My name is Stan Zimmerman. I hope you'll support me in my race for D3. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce Kathy Kelly Ulrich, who is the chair of CCNA, and she has several questions to put to the candidates.
Thank you, Kathy. And thank you also for asking CCNA to join you in this forum. I'm sure there aren't 4 people who appreciate it more than our 4 candidates do. One less place to go, folks. So I have 4 questions, and that will give each of you the opportunity to answer one question first. The first question is to Liz, and we'll go down the table. What issues are important in your district that may not be important in the other districts? And how can you work on behalf of your district without neglecting your responsibilities to the city at large?
Well, obviously, as a city commissioner, you do have to worry about your responsibilities to the city at large. But some of the things that are peculiar to our district and knocking on probably over 2,000 doors, maybe it's 3,000 by now, my team and I have talked to the people in our district, and the biggest issue for them has been the homeless issue. And then secondly, traffic congestion. So those are the things that they would like to see us focus on. However, one big issue is the redevelopment of the Bayfront Cultural District, which I think is going to change the face of Sarasota forever, and this next city commission is going to be making those decisions. That's going to directly affect the people in District 2.
Same question. I feel like I can't see everybody, I'm sorry. One of the major issues that District 3 is dealing with is incorporation of the form-based code and how that coincides with neighborhoods in our district. The Cabana Inn, as you know, is a topic of contention. And so we have to figure out a way to discuss planning and zoning efforts in a way that will revitalize the Cabana Inn so that it can be profitable and safe and livable for our residents. There is a balance of what is good development and what is a drain to traffic, to congestion, to livability and walkability. And although the Cabana Inn is just outside the district, it has a major impact on thoroughfare within the community that serves our district. So that is what I would say would be one distinction that would be specific to District 3 that involves planning and zoning and development, but in a very intricate way. An issue that would relate to the city regardless as to what we're talking about is budget. And so there are a lot of things that need to happen as it relates to our homeless crisis, as it relates to multimodal transportation, as it relates to walkability in Bayfront 20 that are based on budget issues. And so solving our budget crisis is something that transcends across district lines and that we're all going to have to work toward. Particularly with regard to the form-based design code and recommendations that they make, they're going to have a lasting impact not only on our district, but on District 2, on the North Trail as we look at the cultural district, how that flows into Bayfront 2020, and what that does in terms of transportation. The homeless issue is particularly interesting because it affects transportation and we haven't talked about it. Because we don't have a situation with regard to a prominent or feasible storage or shelter, then we're looking at a situation to where transportation is affected by homelessness in terms of where people live and where they stay. So those things go together. The transportation piece, the development piece, and the budget piece all coincide across the city.
Thank you. I would say that in District 2, one of the most important issues is the traffic issue, particularly along the Gulf Stream corridor that goes out to St. Armand's and Lido Key. Secondarily, the homeless issue, which everyone knows needs to be mitigated and which we are working on. The health and vitality of the downtown is very significant for the district, and better transportation and better infrastructure, and the Bayfront, all important to D2. But when I say that, I'm sure you're saying to yourself, but that's important to all of us, and that's the truth. Because what's important to D2 is important to everybody. I sort of think of D2 as the heartbeat of the city, maybe I'm just prejudiced, and everyone else is the lifeblood of the city. We're all interdependent, we all depend upon each other, they depend upon what we've got to offer, and we depend upon them. And all the issues affect all of us. What would affect other people who are out of D2? The North Trail, which is a major priority for improvement, further transportation, perhaps water transport, etc. Again, the issues are similar, and I don't think there's any reason that we would have to think that what we fix in D2 is not a fix for D3 and for D1 and for the entire city.
I'm going to try to be responsive to the question, but I'm going to invert it a little bit. What are issues that are important to my district, D3, that are less important to others? One of the major conundrums facing the city, one of the major problems facing the city now, is the future of